Half of America doesn't even have a savings. Rent is insane. Healthcare is a luxury.
They're absolutely insane.
The prices here in New York, because I genuinely can't believe them either.
It's bad.
Don't care what nobody say. If you make less than $20 an hour, you cannot afford to move.
$4,686. That is what the average single American needs to take home every single month to cover their basic necessities.
How do you guys do it? How do you survive?
So there was a very sweet gentleman that bought my bottle of water at Dollar Tree this morning. Very gentlemanish thing to do. But it ran real deep for me because that was my last dollar.
I'm looking for a place to live.
I'm tired of being able to barely pay my bills, going into a job where I work my fucking ass off all fucking day to barely be able to pay my motherfucking bills.
In 2 months, it's going to become completely unaffordable to live in the United States.
And somehow the narrative is still, oh, people are just bad with money. Like, what money?
Something is seriously wrong when Americans can work full-time, cut off their spending, give up luxuries, and still struggling with rent, groceries, insurance, and basic bills. That's not right. In this compilation, we're going to talk about the cost of living crisis, how it's changing across America. And if you are new here, make sure you subscribe, comment, and like. And don't forget to hype me up. Alright, check out this video.
The cost of living in New York is getting absolutely out of control. Like, I have 3 jobs, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and it is still hard for me to afford groceries. Why is that? It shouldn't be like that, but the tariffs that Republicans are supporting is just making everything 10 times harder. We reached a point where groceries are literally treated as a luxury. It's getting completely out of control.
It's actually so disgusting how normal it is to not afford to comfortably have your own place. Why is it so normal to rent a room in a house for the strangers that you don't know? What's the point of moving out of your parents' house? And as a young person in the UK, it just makes the future look so bleak. Like, I cannot do this for the rest of my life. I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of being able to barely pay my bills, going into a job where I work my fucking ass off all fucking day to barely be able to pay my motherfucking bills. It just is not it.
Can we talk about how America has become completely unaffordable? And I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. Like, half of America doesn't even have a savings. Rent is insane. Healthcare is a luxury. And somehow the narrative is still, oh, people are just bad with money. Like, what money? People are working full time, and most people have 2 to 3 jobs now because you have to. At what point do we stop blaming the people and just accept the fact that the cost of living has just outpaced reality? Because everything is this expensive, you have to know exactly where all your money is going now. Like, a budget is just simply a necessity. I started using a debt payoff app like the Ditch app to figure out where all my money is going, but it does not make up for the fact that America is too expensive to live in.
America has become completely unaffordable, and not a lot of people are talking about this. Most people do not even have a savings account. Mortgage payments and rent payments are absolutely insane. Healthcare is a luxury, and somehow the narrative is just that people are bad with money. What money? What money are they talking about? And a lot of people who I know have to work 2 or 3 jobs just to get by. At what point do we start blaming people and just accept the fact that the cost of living has outpaced reality? Because everything is so expensive, you need to know exactly where your money is going, right? And having a budget feels like an absolute necessity because it is so expensive just to live. The one thing that I've been trying to do to get ahead is to get my debt down. I've been using this app called Ditch, and it's actually been helping me. So what it does is it takes roundups of your everyday purchases and it sends the spare change over to your debt. It's one of those little things that is helping me get by. So if you can relate to any of this, you are definitely not alone.
Genuinely just got off the phone with one of my European friends, and he was in complete disbelief when I told them the prices here in New York, because I genuinely can't believe them either. 1 year ago, I was looking at gas prices being $2, $3 at most. Right now, I'm lucky to find $4 a gallon. That is insane. I was telling my European friend that I'm working 2 jobs to barely cover my living expenses, and he was shocked, thinking that my second job was just for me to put extra money into my savings. I can't afford living in New York because these MAGA Republicans thought it was a good idea to go to war instead of actually lowering prices how they said they would. Somebody please help me, because this is genuinely intolerable.
So I'm from Ohio, and let me tell you, I am seeing the firsthand effects on affordability because of this war. Yeah, more money was just requested for the war. Meanwhile, I'm barely scraping by on rent, and gas is approaching $5. But no, we're gonna request more money towards the war, so the way this money could go to so many better places.
I don't care what nobody say. If you make less than 20 an hour, you cannot afford to move. You one paycheck, one hiccup, one sick day, one medical accident away from being homeless if you doing that, bro. I swear to God, bro. I remember when I moved into my first apartment, at the time, like when I first moved there, I was making 20 an hour. And the rent was like $1,100. Bro, if y'all don't know, I do photography on the side of like working in the office. But at this time, it was super slow. I ain't had no bookings. All right, cool. Yo, I was living 100% off my job money. Yo, bro, it felt like if I sneezed the wrong way, I was going to be homeless. I said, fuck no. That's when I start locking in, making all this extra income. Because, bro, one incident, one day off, you're fucked, gang. Bro, if you get paid 20 an hour, that's roughly $1,500 depending on taxes. But like after taxes, it's like $1,500, $1,400, right? On the lowest, it'll be probably 13. Okay, cool. You get paid twice a week. That means you're making $2,600 in a month. Your rent is $1,100. Nigga, that's half of your rent. I mean, half of your monthly income is going towards your rent. Fried, bro. You fried. I'm telling you. Unless you want to be living check to check, don't do that shit.
So there was a very sweet gentleman that bought my bottle of water at Dollar Tree this morning. Very gentlemanish thing to do. But it ran really deep for me because that was my last dollar. Until my deposit strikes at noon. But it was my last dollar. In quarters. I haven't been able to buy a Red Bull. I haven't been able to buy a gallon of water for the house. I haven't had dinner in 3 days. Like, it's bad. And bitch, I'm working my ass off. I'm more broke now than I was before I had a job. How does that make sense? The fuck? Anyways, good, kind sir, I just want you to know, I did tell you. I told you in person, I said this means so much to me. That was my last dollar. God bless. Walked out. But now I need everybody to know because that was just the best thing that could have happened to me this morning. I've been having a really, 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 really rough couple of fucking weeks. Yeah. I'm usually the one that's giving. I'm usually the one handing out waters and drinks and food to everybody else but myself. So to have someone else just buy me a bottle of water makes me want to cry. Probably because I'm starving. Bye.
$4,686. That is what the average single American needs to take home every single month to cover their basic necessities. That's rent, utilities, health insurance, transportation, and food. To make that kind of money, you have to be making $60,000 to $70,000 a year. The median income, which is the true middle of the United States, makes $53,000 a year. Gross and gross. Now, I'm no mathematician, but $53,000 is a lot less than $70,000, which is what you need to cover your basic necessities. That's literally just to exist in the world. And let's not forget, gas just went up another 50 cents a gallon on average across the United States. Things aren't getting easier. So why am I here? Why am I putting this in your face? Because if I don't have a plan, that's just kind of mean. I teach real side hustles for real people. That means you don't need social media or a following because the average person doesn't have that. The kind of side hustles I teach, you open your phone and you're able to do them right away. You don't need special skills and you can do this with a regular job or it can replace a job. Merchandising, marketing, and surveys are 3 ways that I make a lot of money. I have everything listed in my profile. If you need to get started now, it's right over there or on my website. I come on here every single day to teach you guys everything that I've been doing for the last 12 years, how I survive, how I support my family of 7 in the state of Connecticut. And I will tell you, you need a higher median income to live here. I show you guys how to do it. It's not hard. If I can do it, anybody can do it. So if you're someone living paycheck to paycheck, you should definitely save this video, follow me, and come back for more tips and tricks on how to make more money so that you are not just surviving.
How do you guys do it? How do you survive? I'm apartment shopping. I'm looking for a place to live, and it's so out of my reach. I work 2 jobs from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then from 4 p.m. till 11:30 p.m. I literally run to my second job just to be on time. And I so can't afford living in California. Like, I just can't. I know some of you guys have roommates. I can't do that because I take care of my mom, you know? So it's awkward. It's not everybody's willing to share a house with an elderly woman, you know? So how? I feel like a single parent. Like I'm apartment shopping. I've even considered renting a room. And just to give you a perspective, a room here in Thousand Oaks, where I live in Ventura County, is going for $1,200 a room, one room. God forbid I look for a studio, you know? And it's like, they want $1,600 for a little tiny studio, and they want you to make 3 times the amount of rent. Perfect credit. God forbid I look for a 2-bedroom or even a 1-bedroom apartment. 1-bedroom apartment goes for $2,300 in my area. A 2-bedroom apartment goes for $3,200. How do you guys survive? Jesus Christ, when did fucking living become a luxury? Like, how? Let me know, like, cause I've even considered moving to Nevada. I considered moving to other states where rent is cheaper. But if you think about it, the minimum wage is a lot lower, which would only take me to a new city with no friends, like nowhere, like a whole new city, and then still be making minimum wage and still be in the same position, just with a different salary. I'm losing hope. I'm really losing hope. I don't know what to do.
I went shopping today. I didn't need groceries. I just needed some stuff for the house, you know, toilet paper, paper towel, wipes, things of that nature. And I don't think I've ever seen as many open packages in a store than I've seen today. Like looking at toilet paper packs, like 6, 8 packs, and seeing 2 rolls taken out. Toilet paper packs and seeing rolls taken out of that. I'm getting little fruit things, and I'm seeing it open on the side and obviously pieces of the fruit being taken out. Like, it's really bad right now. And like, I knew it was bad, obviously. I pay attention to the economy, to the markets, to legislation, and just like the job market, because I like to stay informed. But like, seeing it manifest in real time in ways that I didn't even consider it would show up, because it's the little things, man. It's the little things that you see that you just realize you haven't really seen before at this magnitude. And low key has me taken aback. I'm not gonna lie. And this is speaking as someone who has been going grocery shopping since I was a kid with my mom. So like, I know what it's like to be in stores and see stuff on shelves. Like, I think I even noticed that there is an increase of locked sections for things in stores now. And it's like, ooh, yeah, theft prevention, whatever. But it's like, yo, nah, people really need this stuff and they're taking what they need. And I understand it, but it's like, it's really that bad right now. People cannot afford the things that they need as they are packaged and priced. We talk about recession indicators as a joke, but like, nah, it's real. It's really real.
As soon as you pay one, another one comes. As soon as you pay this, another one comes. And I've heard about it over the years, like the North American lifestyle. American lifestyle is just bills on bills on bills. And it feels like you could never make enough money. So I think that pressure adds to the weight of thing, and being post-COVID and politically out there right now has caused a lot of prices to be astronomical and unethical. Like, you look at gas prices, you look at food prices, plus you still got to deal with the basics. And then if you have like people dependents, you have people that you're taking care of, the prices for those things go up, and it's very stressful.
In 2 months, it's going to become completely unaffordable to live in the United States. And I'm not talking about luxury lifestyle. I'm talking about basic middle-class needs. I run a relocation business out of Costa Rica. I asked my clients, who are a couple from Bushwick, Brooklyn, why they were thinking of moving abroad. They sent me their monthly budget spreadsheet. So combined, they make $120,000 a year. And from that, they get to bring home about $7,400 a month after taxes. Their rent is $3,100 a month. And their health insurance is about to skyrocket to $1,750. They budget about $1,000 a month for groceries. Their utilities, internet, cell phones, and MetroCard are another $1,300 or so. So at the end of the month, This leaves them with about $250. And that doesn't include any unexpected expenses or the hope for investments or the hope for a savings account. So what they said to me is that this is what running in place feels like. And the reason that they want to move abroad is because they actually want to move forward with their lives.
It is actually diabolical that even 90K, 100K feels unlivable, especially when you take taxes out. It's like 60,000 a year. After taxes, you're looking at like 2,500 biweekly, so like 5,000 a month. With roommates and without roommates, you're still looking at between like 1,600 to 3,000 if you live by yourself. And that's just to like have a roof over your head. Which is crazy because in the entirety time that I've ever made over 6 figures, I've always worked so many side jobs just to like save money. Meanwhile, back when I was like 21, I was making like 30 to 40,000 a year being a nurse in South Carolina. Tell me how like I was even surviving on that, and I felt like I was having so much fun, and now like that feels like nothing. I'm not living beyond my means. I have the same car that I've had for 11 years. I feel like I'm buying less groceries, and my groceries still cost way more than I ever did before. Like with Spirit going away, Delta removing their drink and food services, the world is getting far more expensive, and we're getting nothing in return. I don't really know what these billionaires think that they're going to get out of us, because at this point, if we don't have any money to spend, how are we going to buy your products? It's getting to the point where things are like so frustrating. Like I don't want to work in this perpetual cycle of just like the rat race forever. I'm honestly like exhausted. I'm like looking at these jobs that I'm applying to, and it's like I do the math, and when you take out all the taxes, it's like nothing. Almost makes me want to go back into nursing full time, because like I don't know if I can take that pay cut, you know? And that's why everyone's in miserable jobs they don't want to be in, because you'd rather keep the job that you have with more money than get a pay cut role for a job that like you probably are overqualified for, but you want a new position.
Hey, so North Carolina, quick question. How many more people have to die and y'all actually do something about this situation where energy bills are spiking to a point where people can't even afford to live? The family in Rocky Mount that just lost their lives along with their 3 pets, we're not going to act like this was just a matter of them just not paying their bills. In December of 2025, going into January of 2026, I remember specifically there being a lot of discord around the fact that the people in the 252 area, specifically Rocky Mount, were receiving bills, double bills at the same time, after you guys allowed Duke Energy to be able to charge people for projects that they haven't even started, projects that they may start in the future. These things have been added to the energy bills of the state of North Carolina, and Duke Energy is by far the monopoly that is here. So they send double the bills at the beginning of the year, and then you guys issue a moratorium to say, hey, you can have time to pay your bill, but please understand that these bills are going to keep coming. And when the time comes for this moratorium to end, which it just ended this summer, you're going to have to pay it in full. So how does that work in an area where the poverty line is around $27,000 a year for a family of 3 just passed away in their home trying to keep electricity through a generator? Rent is high. Energy bills are high. Food costs are high. Gas is high. What exactly are the expectations here? If you've been following me for a while, you know that last year I went through some of the toughest financial crises that I've ever experienced in my entire life. When snow was on the ground and we had inches of snow, Duke Energy, even though I begged them for a repayment plan, I begged them for their energy assistance plan, I applied for it, I went to DSS. To this day, I never heard from anybody. And they turned my lights off the day after that snow hit the ground. And you know what that woman told me? That it was no way possible for her to be able to help me, and that I had to pay everything I owed in full if I wanted heat in my home. And I have 2 children. Minimum wage is $7.25. It was been that way since I was 15 years old. So when you go to sending somebody electric bills that are $500, $600, $700, $800, $1,000, mind you, those 2 bills were your fault. I would love to know what the expectations are when people are living in poverty and cannot seem to afford basic things to live, and then you drop 2 bills on them at once and then continue to drop those bills on them, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere you're telling them, hey, so I know we told you that we wouldn't turn your lights off, I know you told you that you would keep your electricity, however we're tired of waiting, so pay it all now or suffer in the heat in the middle of the summer.
So I saw this guy talk about like the cost of living and how he just can't afford to live. And I feel like I need to talk about like how bad I think it's gotten in the US. Because I think it's gotten really, really bad. Like, we know it's bad, but it's bad. So 5 years ago in 2020, I graduated from college and I had a job offer within like 3-4 weeks after graduating college. And I moved to downtown Dallas at the time, and I lived in a studio apartment, and I believe it was like $905 a month. Had a view of downtown. It wasn't in the best part. Botman Jean unfortunately did get murdered there, but it was a really affordable apartment, and I made about $40,000 a year. So I could afford it, and it was great. I went and I looked back, and the studios that I lived in are now almost double what I paid, which is insane to me. Also, when I was in college, I always got groceries at Aldi's, and I could get meat and everything I needed for 1 week for one person. It was about $45 to $50 US. I went to Aldi's a couple days ago, bought groceries for me and my partner, and excluding meat, because I buy my meat from a local farm, so just getting like fruits, vegetables, and like crackers. We don't really get snacks, and like grains and stuff like that. It ended up being about $100. Obviously, I spent the majority of my 20s living in the EU, and I've only lived back in the US for 1 year, but I can just say that I think it's gotten extremely expensive. 40K a year would have been a really, really good salary 5 years ago, in a low cost of living area, but it's not. I bought my house last July, and if I were to buy my house again, for example, I could not afford it. They built an apartment complex that you can rent right next to my building. I Googled how much people are paying to rent in these apartments, similar floorage. Honestly, part of it's a basement unit, and it is about like $500 to $600 more than my mortgage. They're also building $1 million townhouses 2 blocks away from the street that I live in. I literally could not afford, aside from like losing my job and all those other variables, I literally could not afford to buy my house again. And if it wasn't for the property taxes that I don't pay property taxes, I would not be able to own a house. But yeah, it's really, really jarring to see how expensive it's gotten, and how devastating it is. And I'm always really grateful I don't have kids, because imagine you're a family of 4 and you have to feed 4 people and you don't make even $100,000 a year. Like, it is insane. And then housing is $2,500. I went looking because I wanted to move to a different part of the city, rent out my condo, and then rent some part in the city, thinking it might be cheaper. I toured a bunch of apartments. You are getting less space. You're getting you're paying $2,500, maybe $2,800 for a studio in Philadelphia. Obviously, if you're from New York, it's not that bad, but it's pretty expensive for locals here, especially given the median wage is not that high. It's insane. It's extremely expensive. If you are feeling the pressure and the heat of the rising cost of living, you're not alone. Even high earners are coming out and saying it's extremely expensive. Money is not going as far as it used to.
I fear you're still not getting the message that I was trying to convey. You asked why. Why would anyone choose to live this way? So I did a compilation for you of different Americans right now that work even very well-paid jobs and still are unable to make their bills. And if they are making their bills, they're barely making their bills. That was me, just barely scraping by. Could I still live a traditional life? Absolutely, I could. But do I want to struggle every breath I take trying to pay for that? That was the choice I made. I could stay living in my $2,000 a month apartment, but did I really want to? For me, it was a no. I did not want to have financial struggles every second of my life like the majority of Americans are right now. So I chose to minimize my life so that I could have some peace of mind. It is a very peaceful feeling knowing that my rent is $300 a month. I can pay that no matter what. I love it that I spend maybe $50 a month on my highest on electricity. I love it that I provide my own water so that I'm not one of these people in the 12 states that their water has been contaminated because it's been hacked. These are the choices that I made. They are not consequences. I could definitely go back to living a regular life. It's just that I don't feel like struggling every second the little bit of time that I have here. So minimize. It's not about consequences. It might be about choices, but I am not in this position because I can't be in another position. I chose this because I don't want to struggle.
If you're 30 years old or older and you're still living at home with your parents, do not feel sad, do not feel ashamed, do not feel embarrassed. Because quite frankly, you're in the same boat as damn near everybody fucking else. About 25.2 million. And I think that number's a little higher if you ask me. From the ages of 30 to 34 specifically, share the living at home has nearly doubled compared to the year 2000, climbing to nearly 13% as of last year. Nearly 1/3, which is 33% of young adults under 35 reside with their parents, a number that eclipses even pandemic era highs. And this ain't no employment issue because roughly 70% of ages 25 to 34 are working. It's because nobody can afford a fucking thing. The median housing prices is around $434,000. I think that's a fucking lie because that's damn near going up to $600,000, if not more. A staggering 34% increase since 2009. So in the span of 7 fucking years, home prices have skyrocketed while wages stay the exact fucking same. People have to work 2 to 3 jobs and damn near have a side hustle just to barely make fucking ends meet. A record 242 U.S. cities now have starter homes that cost $1 million. See, I told you that $430,000 median home price was bullshit. And the older, out-of-touch generation and the walking decrepit fossil fuels up in Washington, D.C. have the nerve to say that this new generation is lazy and that they just need to work hard in order to become a homeowner to achieve the American dream. Excuse me, you stupid dumb son of a bitch, but back in 1950s, your home cost nothing but a pack of Ritz crackers and a slice of bread. Now in 2026, in 242 U.S. cities, starter homes cost $1 million. The old heads wouldn't be able to do shit and have nothing to their name with a 1950 U.S. salary for 2026 prices. And what makes it even funnier for those who are still trying to save their way out of their parents' basement or childhood rooms, their parents think that their children are supposed to have a mass savings as if they don't have any fucking bills or financial responsibilities themselves. Like if you went to college like most of us did, you're probably paying back student loans. That's like what, $200, $500 a month, if not more? Or let's just say you paying rent by living at home with your parents still or covering the bill utility. That could be anywhere from what, $300 to $1,000 a month, if not more? If you got your own cell phone, that's probably like what, 80, 100 something, if not more? You got a car, you probably paying a car note or car insurance for that. That's like what, $300, $500, $600, $700? Oh, and the car can't drive by itself. You gotta put gas in that motherfucker. Have you seen the price of gas lately going up, down, up, down? Let's just say that's what, maybe $150, $200 a month? Oh, and you can't drive that bitch without having it insured. So that's what, probably another $500, $600 a month? Because we all know insurance is a fucking scam and ripoff. And let's just say you eat differently than your parents. Have you seen the fucking prices of groceries lately? That's like what, an extra $400 or $500 a month? Depending on how far your commute from work is and other things you gotta do. Maybe more. And you gotta maintain yourself. Haircut, hair, braids, nails, shape up. Those shits ain't cheap. And you need some type of social life with your friends. You can't just be at home 24/7. That costs money, let's say what, $200, $300, maybe $400 a month? Yeah, it'd be fucking retarded and stupid to think that a grown-ass adult who has the unfortunate situation of living at home to have $100,000, $200,000 in the bank when they have their own financial responsibilities that they have to tend to. And when a fucking starter home costs $1 million just to get the key, not only on top of that, you got to pay thousands of dollars a year in property tax. So the American dream is to buy home outside of America. Because here, you're living paycheck to paycheck, struggling beyond struggle, broke, unhappy, stressed out, miserable, and that's all unfortunately coming at the cost of all of our mental and private sanity.
As soon as a teenager get a job, they want to move out. They think they can afford to live by themselves. So my daughter was talking to me last night. She's like, man, you know, I'm thinking about getting my own place, man. I'm making good money. Pucka. I said, you can't afford your own place. Yeah, I can. So I pay her $600 a week cash, $2,400 a month, straight like that, right? Cool. So I asked her yesterday, how much money you got saved? Well, I get paid on Friday, so I have $600. So you've saved nothing and you got no bills. How are you going to live when you have bills if you can't save without bills? And I'm like, yo, let's do a little basic math here. You can get you a project apartment in Orlando, $1,500, all right? You're going to need first and last to move in. That's $3,000. You've been working for a little while now. You don't got that. All right, whatever. Me and your mom will lend you the money.
We'll give you the money. 3,000. Get the fuck out of my house. I'm ready for you to leave. All right, 1,500. Bing, bang, boom. Every month, then you got your lights. $100 a month because it's just you. Wait, you're irresponsible. You're going to leave the AC on, the TV on, the lights on. So yours is going to be about 300. So you 1,800 in, right? Fair enough. Now I know you're going to want internet. You need your Netflix. That's another 100, right? You at 1,900 right now. Fair enough, right? You got to drive to work every day. Let's say conservatively, you become responsible. And you don't drive anywhere else because you're responsible. That's $200 a month in gas. You're at $2,100. You got $300 left. You spent $600 on Uber Eats last week. How you gonna afford it? You $2,100, $2,200 in before you bought toilet paper. Shampoo, that $70 shampoo you like to buy. Yeah, no dice, jit. Then what you gonna put in your refrigerator? You gonna keep Uber Eating? You just can't afford it. These kids think living on their own is easy. They've never bought toilet paper. They've never bought cleaning supplies. Soap to wash the dishes. Toothpaste. Yo, that stuff adds up real fast. Real fast. God forbid you catch a flat tire. That's on you. You independent now. God forbid you wake up in the morning and your battery's dead. That's on you now. You ain't got no furniture. What, you gonna go finance some furniture? You can't save. You can't live on your own. Trust me, I want you to leave as bad as you want to leave.
And another thing about the city-run grocery stores in New York City, they're planning to place them in food deserts. You know, where people don't have easy access to food. MAGA's claims that they're trying to put other grocery stores out of business is just another lie to convince you to not want or expect help from your government so that MAGA can take your tax dollars and use them to keep their corporate donors happy. They should want to keep you happy. Think about that as November midterms approach.
People in Wisconsin are struggling right now, and this is one of the reasons why. This is a basic, very average 3-bedroom home. This is what it's listed for. This is your average monthly payment. This is your payment you still have to pay for groceries, health insurance, medical bills, utilities, everything like that. This is what you're paying every month, and this is the price history of the home. It was last sold for $132,000 in 2015. Now it's being listed for $375,000. That's up 182, almost 183% in 11 years. And wages have not risen 182%.
Hey, quick question.
Huh? Yeah. What's up?
Why is everything so expensive now, man?
Well, global supply chains.
Okay, but why was the smoothie I just bought $18?
Handcrafted.
It's strawberries.
Artesian strawberries.
And coffee's $9 now.
Premium experience.
What experience?
The experience of surviving.
Wait, what? Okay, why does every checkout screen ask for tip now?
Community support.
I bought a bottle of water.
And the employee turned the iPad around.
Bro, my rent went up $600.
Mm-hmm.
My groceries doubled.
Correct. Yeah.
So how are people supposed to live right now?
Live. Oh, you still think we're using the economy for that?
Yo, guys, you got a load of this guy. He still thinks we're doing affordable living.
No, stop.
Seriously? Oh, he's cool. Good luck, loser. So what do y'all even do then? Mostly vibes and monthly payments.
One fucked up part about today's day and age is you can't leave your doorstep without spending at least $20 to $100 at the minimum. I don't know how shit just happens, but when I went out last week, gosh damn, I almost altered my whole family's bloodline. So I get a text on Twitter, right? Like I'm scrolling Twitter one day, looking at the computer, I'm like, oh shit, word. I get a message from this person. Let's just call her Mary. Mary sends me a message saying, hey Les, do you want to go get like coffee tomorrow morning? Like it'd be really cool and you can meet my investor. I was like, okay, bet. I don't mind it. Mary's cracked out. She's worked at tech companies. One of the first employees at Twitter, that's Mary. So I was like, okay, yeah, Mary, I'm super down. I'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. sharp. And that was that. I go to bed, wake up the next day, and I hop my ass on the train heading to the coffee shop. But the moment I left my door, I should have kept my black ass in the crib. So as I'm on the train, I'm sitting back, listening to some music in my headphones, Nipsey Hussle's going, And then I hear, "Attention, ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only." And this black dude just starts drumming on some cans. Oop. Then the train stops. People get on. He goes around with the cups. "Hey, you got change? And he comes up to me. And I look down at the ground. He's like, "Broke ass nigga," and keeps walking. What the fuck? So as I get to my stop on the train over in the city, I live in New York, I get off, text Mary, like, "Hey Mary, I'm on the way." And I can't help but feel that something's off. She doesn't respond yet. And I get to the coffee shop. I get my guava matcha with some coconut water, sit by the window. It's a vibe. I'm doing computer work, and I text her, "Hey, I'm at the coffee shop right now. Send it off." And immediately I hear, "Hey, Les," in the background. I turn around. Oh shit. "What's up, Mary?" She was already there, gang. 30 minutes before. Didn't say a word. First red flag. So I give her a side hug, never a full hug, because that shit is not the vibes. And I sit down, we talk, we jam. I tell her about my business incubators. Tell her it's like, basically getting paid to become influencer realm and making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Just like, wow, that's really cool. What are you doing after this? And I was like, I got a meeting in like 2 hours, but I got some time. What's up? She looks at me just like this. "Do you want to go to this pop-up? It's going to be like really cool. I think you would love it. Like, love it." In the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, pop-up, maybe some retro vintage, whatever. But as I'm getting to know Mary, I tell her, "Oh, I'll think about it. She's telling me she lives in West Village in a brownstone, not rent, mortgage. She had, like I said, she was one of the first employees at Twitter, millionaire, right? And I'm starting to get these hints over and over again, gang, to the point where she brings it up again. "Oh, I'm going to head out. Do you want to go to this? You want to go to this pop-up with me?" And for some reason, I don't know what possessed me, but I said, sure, why not? I already spent like $12 on the matcha, gang. What could possibly go wrong, right? Fuck. So we're heading over. So as we get out the coffee shop, start walking over to this random pop-up, I'm asking her about it. I'm like, "Yo, what is this?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're just see, I'm not gonna answer any questions." And we get to the building, massive skyscraper, go through the like the doorman, and he says, "You here for the event?" Mary goes, "Yes, we're here for the event. "Who's that?" "Me." "Oh, that's just my friend." "Okay. Floor number 18. Go to your left, take a right, all the way back through the double doors, and you'll see the pop-up. Have fun." All right, for sure. Very descriptive. It feels like I don't know what's about to happen. Bro describes some shit like Maze Runner, and he was a runner that was going on. So I was like, whatever. We go in the elevator, go up, follow his directions. Felt like back rooms, gang. And then we see two massive doors. Oh shit. Open it up. Guys, my jaw drops. I'm like this. Mary's like, I knew you would love it, right? And immediately, I'm seeing briefcases, all black, being opened up right in front of us. I shouldn't be here right now. And this guy comes up to us. He's like, "Hey man, what's your name?" "I already know Mary. If she brings you, that means you're a great person." I dap him up. I was like, "Yeah, I'm Les." His name was Adrian. If you're watching this, it's love, gang. And Adrian's like, "Yeah, man, welcome to the pop-up. It's just a private watch collection for those who are, some of our avid customers and, those looking to educate themselves, maybe buy a new timepiece. You in the market?" I look at him, I'm like, in the back of my mind, gang, I'm like, yo, I know I'm making, like, I own a business and shit like that. Can I do something? Sure. Should I do something? Yeah, man, like I could probably go like 5 to like 15 racks right now. Is there any watches in that realm? I tell Adrian this. He looks at me like the Joker before he commits crime. He goes, yeah, man, check these out. Come sit down. Shows me a Rolex, like these other things, all these other watches. And I'm just like, okay, cool. And my eye goes on this one watch, King. I pick it up and he goes, oh, he says some crazy shit. He goes, that's one of the first series of it. It was a part of the original, I think like 20 that came out. AP Royal Oak, try it on. So I was like, okay, cool. I take it off. I don't know I've never tried on super nice watches, game. Keep it a buck. I try this bitch on, yo. And I'm like fiddling with it. He's like, just rip it. So I rip it open, put it on my wrist. That shit's bust down, no shador. And I asked him, like, how much is this, bro? And he looks at me dead in the face. He's like, yeah, it's a little bit out of your range at the 15. That's 105. Okay, yeah, for sure. Give me some time. And gang, I love that watch was gorgeous. I've never seen a watch look like that. And I was like, bro, I'm not going to stop until I can grab one of them Johns, right? So I dap him. I was like, thank you, Adrian. I'm like, then I look around like, where the fuck is Mary? Guys, Mary buys a $40,000 watch right in front of me. I'm like, okay, cool. Give Mary a side hug. I dip out. She's like, oh, you sure you don't want to stay? I was like, no, it's okay. I'm good. Fuck. As I'm walking back to the elevator, I can't help but think to myself, one, the money's being spent every day. And two, I will firmly keep my black ass in the crib with the Frank, NWA, and Godzilla on the PlayStation talking to you guys, because...
Notice how there's a victim of capitalism sleeping outside the Victims of Communism Museum in Washington, D.C.
That's strange. Notice how to see the victims of communism, you need to be admitted to an exhibit. But to see the victims of capitalism right now, all you need to do is step outside. Tell me, if 50% of a population was struggling to afford food and gas in a socialist country, you know damn well Western media wouldn't shut up about how much of a failure communism is. But this shit is happening right now in America. 50% of Americans are struggling to afford basic necessities. Where is that same energy? Where is that same consistency to say capitalism is demonstrably failing? About 50% of American adults under the age of 30 are living with their parents because they cannot afford housing. Capitalism is demonstrably failing. I can't wait for the trickle much longer. I can't wait for it to trickle down much.
You might want to block me or scroll past this if you don't want to listen to me defend Trump. People need to listen to this. Gas prices right now are horrible. I'm not going to deny that. They're going up. They're supposed to drop. It has been a hellhole. Don't say it's because of our current president. Don't say it's Donald Trump's doing, because it's not. I hope you know, when a president back then F's up, that doesn't just change automatically. You can't just change it in a snap of a finger what another president messed up. And currently, our current president is having to fix our past president's issues. Biden killed U.S. energy. Iran, we cannot blame on Trump. Gas prices, we cannot blame on President Trump. A lot we cannot blame on him, but we are, because we don't know who else to blame. Well, let me tell you, we're going to blame Biden. Let's talk about what Biden did. Begging Iran and Venezuela and Saudi Arabia to produce more oil, nominated hostiles, far-left activists, killed 5-year offshore leasing programs, canceled Keystone XL pipeline. I can go on and on. That is what Biden did when he was our president. Those were our issues that we had with gas prices, with Iran, with war. But you know who our president is now? Trump. And he's trying to fix it. So we can't blame him on something he's trying to fix. Something that's not even in his doings, that was in his hands. Because if he was president back then, we wouldn't have had this issue. President Trump, I really do hope this whole thing can hurry up and you can fix it fast, because I hate the gas prices. But you are not to blame. Biden is to blame. Obama is to blame. With Iran, with the war, with the gas prices, with more.
The next time you say, well, President Trump fixed the gas prices because your doings, well, you don't know what you're talking about because not his doings.
65% of Americans can't afford to own a home. You see, the math behind today's housing market is so completely broken, it's starting to read like a damn scam. You see, according to the new housing data, nearly 2/3 of American households don't make enough money to qualify for a standard, median-priced home. Meanwhile, Zillow's own numbers show that over 50% of U.S. homes are quietly losing value over the last 12 months. Independent researchers are watching mortgage delinquencies pile up and warning that home prices need to crash by up to 50% just to align with what actual working families are bringing in. But see, here's the real kicker. While Wall Street investment funds spent years buying up entire neighborhoods and driving basic starter homes to $600,000, they told everyday Americans that property values would go up forever. They created a bloated, artificial bubble where young working couples need a surgeon salary just to afford a 2-bedroom fixer-upper. And now the house of cards is starting to shake. Those same corporate landlords are getting ready to sweep in and buy up foreclosures 50 cents on the dollar. When government's own economic data shows that the average family is completely locked out of the American dream, but Washington politicians swear the economy is booming, they aren't trying to protect your home's equity. They're keeping the party going long enough for their corporate donors to buy up your entire neighborhood at a massive discount. Just saying.
How the hell is anyone existing in Canada? Like, I feel trapped. Like, I just got a good job. Even on that job, like, I still can't do shit. I can't buy anything. I can't afford the rent these days. Like, I'm just feeling so much despair.
How is this young millennial not able to afford rent when she has a good job in Canada? It seems like every time I open up TikTok, I'm seeing one of these terrible videos. Let's break it down and see why. I asked ChatGPT, how much does the average household in Canada bring home after tax? Very important in Canada. Average income is $74,000 for the household after tax. So that gives us about $6,100 per month to spend. While I'm scrolling Zillow, and for the average detached house, which if you're a couple and you have a child, you're going to want a house. In Kitchener-Waterloo, not even GTA, not Toronto, rent is around $3,100 a month. And as we can see, like, it's nothing special. It's just an average house. That means rent for the average detached house in Kitchener-Waterloo, not even Toronto, is 50%, just over 50% of a household's take-home net income. Now I ask the same question, how much does a household in Texas take home after tax for comparison? $80,000 a year, $6,666 a month. So I scrolled Zillow in Austin, Texas, a much bigger city than Kitchener. Here's a comparable, not so nice house, just kind of nice enough to live in. Anyway, $2,050 a month for the same details as the other one. That means rent in Austin, Texas for something similar makes up only 30% of someone's income, which is exactly the golden metric. No more than 30% of your income for household expenses. So let's break this down. People in the US, I've done so many of these videos, are making more money, right? The average household in Texas makes $80,000 a year USD. Canada, 74,000 Canadian, which is 54,000 USD. They're paying less taxes, and housing and food and everything else is way cheaper. I can tell you this as a Canadian who now lives in the US. Yeah, I'm not in Canada, clearly. Guys, in Canada, you're being fucking lied to. So if you're a Canadian and you're pissed off and you're sick of it, and you want to follow a Canadian who's left, who now lives in the US, has a business in the US, hit the follow button. I have so much more to share with you.
The food here in the US is so god-awfully processed and bad that you can't even go eat healthy without it still fucking up your internal organs. I mean, you can't buy an orange that hasn't been colored. Like, they literally put red 40 on the oranges, a very small portion of it so it's not fully red and it's more like an orange, to make the oranges more orange. Could you just fucking stop? Can you not put this shit on our foods? Like, I don't want to have diarrhea after I eat something that I think is healthy. I made an entire meal, like homemade Chipotle kind of thing where it's just rice and meat. I still had diarrhea, and I don't even know why. I started to look it up. It's because they inject a bunch of our chickens with shit and they're treated like ass. Like, I need to move to a different country. This is just revolting at this point. I mean, the US has got to be the most manipulative, most controlled, disgusting country that has ever existed. And you can say that it's the greatest specifically because of the economy, but in reality, the only reason why you would say that is because you're basically just living on the hamster wheel of progress, making you think that you're doing something good in your life, when in reality, you're just playing the game that they want you to, so that they, the higher ups that you don't know about, not our president, by the way, can have more fucking money to spend on kids to eat them.
So you get paid, but you don't get to keep all of it.
because what you earn gets taxed, and then what you spend gets taxed again. And somehow it's your fault that you're falling behind. How does that work?
My raise this year was 3%. Inflation was over that. I had to lobby for this too. I had to ask month after month after month, hey, I just need cost of living increase. And it still fell below. These are what my subscriptions totaled at the beginning of last year. And BabsWTV says that has jumped to almost $2,000. I'm cooked.
You want to know how the economy is actually doing? Don't look at the news and don't look at the stock market. Go walk into your local Dollar Tree. If it's packed, the economy is collapsing. And if it's empty, the economy's fine. But right now, they are packed. Dollar Tree is opening up more stores than any other retailer in America. The middle class isn't shrinking. It's already gone. And while headlines are saying that the economy is recovering, your bank account knows that it's not. I check mine every single week with BabsWTV. The truth is in the numbers, not the news. Look at your last grocery receipt and tell me everything's fine. I dare you.
How can anyone save any money when the cost of living is just way too high? That's what a lot of working class Americans are experiencing right now. They're realizing that every single year, as inflation keeps rising, as things get worse in the economy, people just are not able to save as much money as they used to before. And we keep thinking to ourselves, is this going to get worse? Is this going to continue like this? And for most people, it seems like every single year since the pandemic, it's been getting worse and worse. And even though the stock market is basically at all-time highs, that's not where a lot of the working class Americans are putting their money in. That's where the upper class and rich are invested in. And people who are working a 9-to-5 job are not able to save any money and put away money to invest. So we're seeing a huge wealth gap between the upper class and the lower class because of this. Now, something definitely needs to change because the cost of living has just gotten too out of control. We see gas prices, we see grocery prices, we see rent and housing costs skyrocket, and it's just going to be pretty crazy if it keeps increasing for a few more years. People are just going to reach their breaking point. Let me know in the comments below how you're doing and take a look at the rest of these clips.
So times is really changing. Whatever happened to the $50 phone bills? I remember my phone bill used to be $49.99, $50. I just paid my phone bill this morning. It was $332. And you know, when we make a payment online, I don't know who else does it. I know a lot of people who do it, but when you make that payment online, you screenshot that joint right there. You gotta screenshot it. You need your proof that you paid. But when did, times, oh man, gas is up. Right now, gas is at what? Gas is at $4.27. My phone bill, I remember, I used to have a Boost phone, and it used to be $50 a month. And you could do whatever. Now, $32. Crazy.
I get sick and tired of buying little things, and the price tag is not little anymore. The soda is not supposed to cost that much. The bread is not supposed to cost that much. The peanut butter and jelly is not supposed to cost that much. We are in the middle of a cost of living crisis, and I need more people to be talking about how the cost of living is astronomical. Yes, the rent is too damn high. The gas is too damn high. The food is too damn high. The cost of living is high. And I think something that should unite us is that we're not supposed to be paying this much to live. In any form or facet, life is not supposed to be this expensive.
Approximately 17,000 people lost their jobs today. I'm going to say that again. 17,000 jobs were just lost today. If you don't think we're in a recession, I think you need to rethink.
Okay, so where did America go wrong? Recently, I made a video about America's billionaire problem, where wealth is disproportionately held in the hands of a few, while tens of millions are left with barely livable wages. And what I ended on was the fact that America wasn't always like this, but here I want to elaborate. I mean, just take a look at this graph. What this shows is America's top 1% and the proportion of household income that they make up. You can see that when America began in 1776, 1996, top 1% barely even had 12% of household income. And while some might argue that that's still a lot, compared to the US now and compared to other similar countries, it's really nothing. In this first era, the top 1% share increases dramatically as we go into the Industrial Revolution and the Gilded Age. And all of this peaked right before the Great Depression. This fall marks the beginning of a second era, where the Depression pretty much wiped out most of the income at the top. And on top of that, when World War II broke out only a few years later, a bunch of working class people could finally support themselves financially. This was also an era where Franklin Roosevelt cracked down on rich people more than any other president in American history. During his presidency, the top marginal income tax rate exceeded 90%. And what happened because of policies like this was that the share that the top 1% held actually fell pretty significantly for the next couple decades. That is until 1980. Can you guess what changed? That's right, Ronald Reagan. And I'll get into him more in a future video, but what I want you guys to notice from this graph is that although right now it seems like the country's approaching levels of wealth inequality seen back in the Gilded Age, the United States wasn't always destined to go down this path. And you can even see on this graph the very tangible period where middle class was growing and wealth was becoming more evenly distributed. So do you guys think that things need to change?
This is going to be a long rant, but I'm getting ready to show you guys some information on this page because I've had enough. Enough is enough. There should never be a situation in this great country of America, well, a country which used to be great, where Americans go to work every single day, come home, and still cannot pay their bills. Americans go to work 2 or 3 jobs, come home, still cannot feed their family, and still cannot save for retirement. The system is broken. So therefore, there has to be unorthodox ways to escape a broken system. Right now, we are living through the highest inflationary period this country has ever been through. And to top it off, a war has just been poked the bear, right? So who knows if we're going to jump in this war? But when you jump in a war, what does that mean? It means the money printer. America prints more dollars to fight the war. And what does that do to our precious American dollars? It devalues the currency even more, putting more stress on American people because their money will stretch even less further. Their money's worth even less. So whatever you're able to get now, you'll be able to get less once this war starts and the money printer is cut back on. Are we opting into this system? They put our children in school, right? And teach them to be workers because they need workers. They open up the borders and bring people in because the workers that they trained are waking up and understanding that how fair is it for me to go to work 90% of my life to only have 15 to 14 years left by the time I retire and still be broke, still not be able to have any money. This country is at a pivotal point right now. And the question is, are you opting in for this type of life? Or are you going to opt out? But stay tuned because there will be some important information on this page where I will show you how you can opt out and play the same game that the elites are playing right now. Let's go.
I'm sitting here watching Southern Charm and a commercial comes on that's about working while having cancer, where it's like all these people being like, oh, wow, yeah, work makes me feel normal while I go through my cancer treatments. Like, I really want to work. And it's like a work while you have cancer, like, pledge. Like, America is so dystopian that we're trying to get people with cancer to pledge that they want to work. So don't mind my appearance. I got surgery and I'm doing a face mask and my hair's up. But the fuck? I feel like we're living in an alternate reality where I'm like, we want people to pledge to work while they're fighting cancer. What in the America bullshit are we eating?
Honestly, something that doesn't surprise me is just how difficult it is for a lot of young adults out here trying to actually achieve their dreams. I mean, price of rent's going up, cost of college is going up, car insurance and car payments suck for people under the age of 25. It's difficult to get a credit score, hard to survive, and some young adults don't have the luxury of living with their parents. I mean, I'm grateful to be in the position I'm in, but it doesn't make it any less difficult, especially when you're struggling to make ends meet and you're still trying to achieve something that's going to change the world. And I know millions and millions of young adults across the U.S. and the world all feel that way. But I'm not sitting around and gonna mope about it anymore. I've been doing that for too many years. I tried to make change. I didn't do enough of it. And now is the point where I'm saying, screw it. I'm going to jump into it and create the world of love that I know this world needs. Build a world that is full of love and respect and care and support. Because people out here suck. Like, they really do, truth be told. I know how bad the world sucks, just like millions of other people know how bad the world sucks. But it's up to us to change it, and I'm going to do what I need to do to change it. I know my family is going to be taken care of because I put in the effort. I know for generations and generations to come, I'm going to leave an impact. I know that the brand my fiance and I are building is just one step into something big that her and I both want to do. And I know that millions of people around the world who can watch this video and understand that they can do whatever they want. If y'all want to join the journey, drop a like, hit the follow button, and let's just keep spreading love around the world.
MAGA Republicans are literally ruining the state of New York. Question for New Yorkers, how are we affording to live in this state? Because average rent prices are over $4,000 for a studio apartment. Gas prices, $4.20 a gallon for the cheap gas. MAGA Republicans said that gas prices were going to go down because we were fighting with Iran, but we were taking control of the oil. They're not going down. It's literally only rising. It's literally only getting worse. How are we affording to live in New York? Because this is genuinely insane.
You think you should still have the American dream and be better off than your parents? You're entitled. You want a better life for your children? You must be a communist. You're upset that most of the wealth in the United States of America goes to like 6 elitist wealthy people who you don't even know what their names are? You must be against capitalism. You're just jealous. They had a better idea than you. Are you stupid? Do you want to be a socialist in a breadline? Stop! Well, obviously, no, we don't want to be socialists in a breadline. Slow down. We know what communism is, and we know what socialism is, and we definitely don't want it. But we also don't want monopolies, crony capitalism, or any type of statism that you're promoting. Our country is turning into an oligarchy, and Americans are frustrated, and rightfully so. Of course we still want the American dream. Of course we want a better life for our children. And of course, we want a better life than what our parents had. Because last time I checked, that was the American dream. Honestly, at this point, we'd just be happy to afford to go back to school shopping without having to stress about whether or not we're going to be able to afford the gas to get there or the groceries afterwards to feed our kids. We're not asking for handouts. We're not asking for luxuries. We're just asking for some common decency and some humanity. As one of these working Americans who is trying to build wealth, who is working all the time, I am getting really sick and tired, as most of us are, of having elitist pundits, people who don't know what the inside of a Walmart looks like, tell us that we're entitled, tell us that we have no right to be upset and that we're just lazy.
In all seriousness though, like, the joke's over. Like, I'm going to watch TV, I go onto my Hulu account, my mom's account, go to watch a show. You need an add-on for it. I remember the days that you just needed a subscription to like fucking get the platform. And then it was like, okay, get it without ads. And now in 2026, it's like, okay, get it now, but like the premium version of that. Can we just fucking get it, dude? Like, if I pay for Hulu, like, just give me Hulu. Like, just put it in one. Apple Music just increased their subscription. Food, don't even get me started, bro. Can't even afford to live. Is it cheaper to eat out? Is it cheaper to eat in? I don't know. All I know is I can't afford to get anywhere. I can't afford gas. I can't afford food. It's just, I'm done.
How are y'all single income people doing it? How are y'all surviving? How y'all doing it? Are y'all okay? Because I want to check on y'all. Because I know for a person who's got 2 incomes coming in, working our ass off every single day of the week, and groceries are out of fucking control. And if you have animals, fuck that. You better just start getting rid of them, because who the fuck can feed them anymore? And laundry soap. I mean, let's talk about having clean clothes. How important is it to really have clean clothes? And what's our alternative there? Because I've looked into that whole make your own, and I'm headed that direction because it'll last a little bit longer. But I mean, even that shit's expensive. Let's get real. I am literally a nutrition coach who's thinking, let's just buy ramen noodles so that at least my kid gets something in her stomach at night. That's where I am right now. That's how I'm thinking it, because you can't fucking afford nothing. You can't. I never thought that I would ever come to a place in my life that I would be like my grandparents and be like back in my fucking day, people who worked could afford things. Back in my day, you didn't make more money than the average working Joe by sitting at home doing nothing. Make this shit make sense. I can't anymore. Like, I am so over so many things that happen in this world, and just over it. Like, I could just rant all day long, but all I'm gonna say is don't go anywhere. I mean, you can't even go to the Dollar General without dropping $100 bill on nothing. Like, I didn't even get fucking milk, y'all, because they were out of milk. Like, I'm talking necessities. Fucking necessities. And yeah, can't fucking afford this shit. I literally feel like I can't afford to live anymore. But I damn sure can't afford to die, because that shit's expensive too. So what do you fucking do?
I have literally always bet on me to make things work in my life. And I try really hard not to let money stress keep me up at night. But it is just kind of at that point where it's like, how do I catch up? Nothing is working right now. Groceries are astronomical. Gas is still over $4 a gallon. My energy bill from trying to keep up with the heat waves lately is absurd. I'm jumping through all these medical hoops to get my back healed, and it's costing me hundreds of dollars a week. And I'm still talking about it because I know so many people feel this way too. 55% of Americans polled recently said that their finances are getting worse. I feel like we've spent our whole lives watching administration after administration, Congress after Congress promise that they're going to make life more affordable and that they care about working families, and that it's going to get better. But I'm still paying out the butt every time I leave my house. So why does it feel like nobody's actually fighting for us? Like, what is Congress doing? We need to call our representatives and ask them that exact question. Where's the relief everybody is always saying they're going to provide?
I highly recommend that people go listen to the daily podcast, the New York Times daily podcast, for today's episode regarding the food stamp crisis in Arizona. The podcast highlights what's happening in Arizona in regards to food stamps and SNAP benefits being cut, and what that means from what happened when the big beautiful bill was passed. And I'm not going to spoil everything on my little read here, but essentially Arizona is going to be the playbook of what's going to happen to other states. And I fear to say it's terrifying. The episode does a good job of explaining what the ramifications are of the big beautiful bill in terms of how there's a lot more red tape that states have now in regards to what they're going to be able to be funded for at the federal level. And while the federal government did delay this happening across all states post the midterms elections, Arizona started early because they wanted to get ahead of what was to come. And y'all, it's actually just like not a good look. There are various statistics on basically the trickle-down effect of what's going to be happening due to federal funding being taken away. But long story short, TLDR, states are going to be on the hook for making like clerical admin errors, and that's decentivizing them to want to be able to provide food stamps, because at that rate, they'll be paying millions to the federal government for the SNAP benefits for their constituents. Just listening to how this is going to play out, you could tell what the federal government is doing is very intentional, because the amount of people right now in Arizona who have not had benefits for months is actually like, it's heartbreaking. And it's all due to these now bureaucratic processes, because the state of Arizona is afraid that if they don't do it the right way, that they're going to have to start paying these fees at the federal level that they were never paying before, because the federal government was paying for this. And so, yeah, definitely recommend y'all listen to this, because it's actually insane, and it's going to be starting to be in effect across states post midterms.
My daughter's 29 years old, wears a badge, carries a gun, dangerous job, has to lock people up, puts her life at risk every day. And guess what? She can't afford to move out. She's still in the bedroom that she grew up in. Why? Why? Because $600,000 for a house is the new norm? That's what we tell our kids? That it's okay, you can't move out. You can live here until you're 30, 40 years old. What are we doing? There used to be a day where the American dream was achieved. Kids hit a certain age, they saved a decent amount of money, they were able to move out. They didn't have to live with their family until they were 30, 35 years old. Don't get me wrong. I love her here. But I want to see her have the American dream. I want to see her be able to buy her own home, have her own kitchen. But she can't. She can't even afford to rent the place. What are we doing? America. This is not the American dream no more. This can't be the new norm. What do we do? What do we do? Tell me. What do you have children at home that are 30s? Why are they home? They could save $100,000 a year. It's still not enough. Come on. We got to do better for our children. What do you think?
When are we going to get back to the days when somebody can support themselves and live comfortably with just one income? I have a full-time job that years ago I could have raised a family on what I make. And it's like now I have to do side hustles, to supplement my income because it's gotten so fucking expensive to live.
It's crazy you have to work like 75% of your life, like donate, give up 75% of your time pretty much just to literally survive, just to live. Not to live comfortably, not to live well, just to live.
And you're having people struggling over money, struggling over food, struggling over finding a place to live. What do you think you're going to expect from America? You're going to get more violence. You're going to get more people attacking other people. You're going to get more of the looting in different stores.
And then it's like I woke up all of a sudden and my insurance is doubled, food is fucking tripled, gas is so expensive, electric bill over double, my fucking rent went up. I can't be the only one that's drowning.
Everybody is going through this bullshit. Everyone. Can't go to Canada, can't go to the UK. Everyone is dealing with just not being able to sustain life.
I've never had so little money in my entire life. All of my money goes towards my bills and food for me to eat. And half the time, I have to choose between filling my car with gas or eating.
I wish that I could just have a job and do my job and go to work every day, and it would just pay for life. It would pay for a roof over my head. It would pay for food on my table. It would pay for medical bills. It would pay enough for me to save money so I could retire one day, basic things.
I am 36 years old and I have nothing to show for 20 plus years of work.
$70,000 a year, not enough? Is a bachelor's degree not enough? Is 2 jobs not enough? And the only thing we hear is, well, stop Starbucks and stop your brunches and your 3-day vacations. If you get up and take care of your house and take care of your friends and your family and your body and work 50 hours a week plus commuting, don't you think that person deserves a night out or a Sunday?
At what point is it literally just too expensive to live? When do we, because we keep on talking about it, we keep on talking about inflation, and we keep on talking about salaries not meeting it, and we keep on talking about the minimum wage, and we keep on talking about all this stuff, but at what point does that bubble burst? And it literally is just too expensive to be alive, even if you're working a full-time job.
I'm so tired of this corrupt ass world, bro. It is fucked up. And this shit has to end now.
There's a new poll. There's a new poll from Politico. It's not good.
It's not good news for Trump and Republicans. Okay, take a look. This poll shows that many Americans now believe that the cost of living is the worst they've ever seen it. Okay? It gets worse. Because inside that poll, it shows that many Trump voters, a not small number of Trump voters, blame him for that. Now, I don't have to tell you, I'm sure you remember, the issue of affordability was the singular promise that Trump and MAGA were making to voters in 2024. We're going to turn this economy around. We're going to end inflation. We're going to make everything more affordable for you. And we're going to do it on day one. Right. Okay. The issue of affordability was so important, in fact, to so many voters that some of the garbage that was also being thrown around by Trump and MAGA, you know, like migrants eating pets, that garbage, didn't even get to them because the economy mattered so much. Democrats were out there saying the economy's great. And Trump is saying the economy's really bad. I know you're in pain. I feel your pain. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you on day one. Okay. This was Trump talking about the issue of affordability yesterday.
Affordability is a hoax that was started by Democrats who caused the problem of pricing. And they didn't end it. Look, they lost in a landslide. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote. We won everything.
Imagine the audacity of telling your voters, your own voters, you know that issue that you care about the most, more than anything else, that issue that you told me mattered the most and I told you mattered the most. That issue is now a hoax. It's a Democratic hoax. Imagine telling that to a mother just trying to work 3 jobs to feed her family. Imagine telling that to a kid who can't find a job because this job economy sucks. Imagine telling this to a small business owner who, because of your dumb tariffs, have had a higher cost of operating for this entire year. Imagine saying this to a farmer who's had no buyers for his soybeans all year, again, because of dumb tariffs. It's a hoax. Affordability is a hoax. We'll see if his voters care about affordability. I think they do. I think they do.
I'm really sorry to come on here and rant about grocery prices because everybody's doing it in Canada. But I just came back from grocery shopping with my Trillium and I'm broke again. $90 doesn't go very far when 30 of it is to get me to the store and back. So yeah, I spent $50 at Food Basics. And that food has to last us until the 20th. Has to last us 10 days. And all I got was a club pack of ground beef, a cantaloupe, a can of ravioli. I got dish soap. I got 2 cans of Alphagetti, a box of off-brand cola, because my kid is 15, and name brand cola was on sale, but I saved $2 by getting the no name. And toilet paper was on sale for $10. So I got a pretty good pack of that. That was a great deal. So I have toilet paper and ground beef. Guys got any recipes? I forgot I also grabbed a packet of poutine mix because that was on sale for 99 cents. So it's just powdered gravy. Oh, I have all kinds of pasta still, and I've got spaghetti vegetables in the freezer. There's no vegetables in the house. None that my kid will eat anyway. Because it's just diced spaghetti type stuff in the freezer. And I'm almost out of frozen chicken fingers. And there are no fries this time because fries were not on sale. I was going to grab a lasagna. Lasagna was on sale, but they didn't have any. Yeah. It just got way too expensive to live. I need a food bank, and I can't afford to get to one. I can't get there and back. I need one. I need one as often as I could possibly use one. I would use one, but I can't. I'm struggling. I almost cried in the freaking grocery store. I almost cry every time I go grocery shopping. It's traumatizing. Anyway, sorry, bye.
This isn't a video I've ever planned on making. But I don't know what to do. In 2025, I sat my leaving cert and I got the course I wanted in Galway. Since then, I've had to work full time because I cannot afford a place in Galway to stay. Just with obviously how incredibly bad the market is for rentals or even student accommodation. This is so embarrassing. I've missed out on friends. I've missed out on so much. And I work so hard looking for somewhere that I can stay so I can go to college. I have applied everywhere on Daft, everywhere on Rent.ie. I've went into agencies and I've gone to viewings and it's just nothing is working. I even got a place in a private student accommodation called Swade's Suites. And I've been on that waiting list since like 2024, 2025. And I got a spot for a little studio, which would have been perfect. There is no option to pay in monthly installments, even though they're asking for 12 grand. Obviously, student accommodation is expensive for the 9 months, which was something I just couldn't do. My partner, who is working full time, is trying to support me to get there, and he wants to come with me. So that is a big help, obviously, to trying to afford an apartment or somewhere for us to stay. We also, through like these groups on Facebook that try to help people find places, met this lovely couple who are also really struggling to look for a place that we could be roommates with. So for income, there's been 5 viewings of apartments. I have sent easily hundreds of emails and not one has offered a place. I get left unopened or told that the slot has been filled, or straight away get a job up in Galway and just move, just go so I can go to college in September. And I've been putting off like explaining this story to my TikTok because I didn't want work or my works to know that I was leaving to go to college in September. But I don't care anymore because I have been trying so hard the past nearly year to make something of myself, move out, go to college, and I just feel short of advice. If anybody knows anything that could help, that would be great. Like, I've saved, I've tried, I've applied, and I'm doing everything I can. But, as I said, nothing seems to be working. And I did not want to come to this, but I just don't know what to do. This just shows how fucked up the country of Ireland is for young people not having a chance at all. And I don't care for the judgy people who are gonna share and show everybody that she's crying on the internet. This is reality. This is reality, and it's so unfair.
Somebody's lying about inflation, man. Like, the fix is in. Somebody is doing this shit on purpose. Like, I saw a car that I thought was a nice looking car, and it was $60,000. That used to be how much a house would cost when I was a kid. Okay? And I understand that the price of goods and services inflate. The price of materials might get higher depending on certain things. But then I got to thinking, we live in a time where it's easier to manufacture a product than it's ever been in history. It's easier to obtain the materials for those products than it's ever been in history. Yet this shit is this expensive. A new house is $700 some odd thousand plus just to live in a. And a lot of times these houses aren't even made from just bricks and wood. They're made of foam and chicken wire. And this shit is damn near $1 million. Somebody's f***ing doing this.
I went to the mall. Don't go to the mall. But I am convinced that every store in the mall is a money laundering operation. I mean, every single one of them. And before you ask, no, I don't actually know what money laundering is. Everything I know about it, I learned from Breaking Bad and a Netflix documentary narrated by a British dude whispering over piano music. So no, I don't know. But explain this to me. How's the mall still open? Because there's nobody in there. I mean, the food court's got some people in there. But listen, there's a store that's selling medieval dragon swords next to a place with monogrammed phone cases, and somehow everybody's making rent? Absolutely not. You walk past a candle store, a luggage store, a weird store selling massage chairs and helicopters that are like this big, and they're paying rent? They're empty. Money laundering. You got some Pakistani dude trying to sell me eye bag cream from a kiosk. Brother, come here to me. Stop it. They're funneling illegal revenue through legitimate business structures. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't even understand Kohl's cash. I don't understand how I bought a polo shirt in 2014 and now I got $380 in store credit. That's a real money laundering deal. Don't even get me started on the art and the rug stores in there. Tell me somebody painted a blue square called Emotional Damage Number 4 and somebody's paying $145,000 for it. That's Venmo for billionaires, folks. At this point, if a business stays open longer than Spirit Halloween, it's money laundering. We're walking through the mall like, cartel? Yep, cartel, definitely cartel. The pretzel store's a crime syndicate, and you got a 19-year-old working at Sunglass Hut just trying to survive, and everybody's looking at that dude like he's laundering money for Walter White. It's a money laundering operation. Prove me wrong.
I just noticed something so dystopian lately. I do field sales, so I'm in grocery stores a lot, and there's an entire major chain of grocery stores I've noticed doing something different. They started putting mini stores inside of the store. They have their own register. It's all blockaded off. And I asked one of the employees why they're doing this, and she said that they are blockading off the items that have most likely been stolen in the past. I get it. They're a business. They're a corporation. Like, that's capitalism. But I just think it's so important we take a step back and think about how crazy that is, that instead of looking at the astronomical price of groceries and why people might be stealing more, the corporations are just putting in more parameters to prevent theft. It's just so classic. The corporations always come out on top.
This restaurant tried charging me a $12 food reheat fee because I asked them to reheat my steak. That is not happening. I'm sorry.
So we're here at Applebee's, and isn't this very interesting? If I want to tip 20% of my $49.49 total, it gives me a tip total of $11.30. When I do the math on my phone, it's actually $9.89. So, what do you guys think? Discrepancy? Is this happening at all the Applebee's or just this one? Good question.
Hey AMC, just wanted to document the conditions for the movie that it was $40 for the two of us to have tickets, and then we got drinks and it was $60, and I just want to document that this is the conditions of the theater prior to the movie.
Since when has this ever been a medium fry? Just because you write the word medium on it, that don't mean it's medium. When? Almost $3 for this. For this. Because you wrote the word medium on there. it's a medium.
Okay, can someone explain to me in what world a USB drive is $200? What happened? What has happened? Like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. $240 for this? $125? This thing is the size of my thumbnail.
Something needs to be said about this because I'm in shock. So my daughter had a $10 gift card to Starbucks, and so we decided to stop. She got a tall caramel ribbon crunch frappuccino and a unicorn cake pop. I want you to tell me how much you think that this was. These two items, a tall, the smallest size they have of a frappuccino, and this